Hello, welcome to another meditation for creative empaths. Today we're going to talk about how to know that it is safe to move on and let go of the past. Let's begin with a simple breathing exercise. Today we're going to practice box breathing. So let's get in a comfortable position for meditation, whether you're lying down or sitting up nice and tall. Ground down through the sits bones. Lift the crown of your head up in space, and then gently move the chin just slightly backwards so that you are nice and tall. Head over heart, heart over pelvis. So let's take one free breath together, inhaling and exhaling, open mouth. Maybe you stretch the jaw, yawn a little bit. Then we're going to begin our box breathing pattern. So we're going to inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale 4, hold 4. And we're going to do 3 rounds of this together. So as you're inhaling, I'm going to count. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. And letting go of the breath now. Take some free, easy breaths. I encourage you throughout this meditation to just focus on taking deep, easy breaths, loosening up the side body, loosening up the shoulders, and just allow your body to naturally breathe deep, full, rhythmic breath cycles. So how do you know that it is safe to let go of a past problem in a relationship, to reconnect and to move on? So many of us who struggle with mental health issues, we often have difficulty letting go of certain things. We tend to dwell on things, ruminate on things, hold grudges, and hold on to things that happened in the past that were really hurtful. And sometimes we let these get in the way of our relationships. And so one thought that I have is we need to distinguish between a mostly healthy relationship versus an unhealthy or dysfunctional or abusive relationship. So what I'm talking about today is in our mostly healthy relationships that we want to continue to sustain long term. I'm not talking about reconnecting to an abusive person or someone who hasn't taken responsibility. But what I'm talking about today is recognizing when we've been holding on to past hurt in a relationship for too long. The reality of life is that relationships are sometimes going to hurt. Sometimes people will do or say things that hurt us, and we might feel neglected or judged or rejected or looked down upon or something like that. And the reality of life is that no relationship is perfect, no person is perfect, and so there are times when we need to take stock of what has happened, learn our lesson, forgive, let go, and reconnect to that person and try again. And I believe that we can know that it's time to let go when we realize that we've been really stewing on something that just re-traumatizes or re-hurts us but doesn't move us forward and keeps us stuck in a place where we feel isolated and alone and in pain. And first of all, if you're finding yourself in a moment where you feel like this, take a moment to give yourself some compassion and empathy and love and grace and kindness. You deserve that from yourself. Nobody is perfect in relationships. And it doesn't make you a bad friend or a bad family member or a bad partner if you've been holding on to something or you've been feeling really hurt and you feel like it's affecting your relationship. Your feelings are valid. If you've been hurt before in a relationship, know that those emotions are valid, and your reality and the things that happen, those things are valid and real and important for you to address and heal from. It's not that we are going to sweep things under the table or pretend like they didn't happen if they did. I think that we often hide what's underneath the surface and we don't speak our truth for fear of more pain or loss or suffering. And this is not an easy topic. It's not a ABC solution and you're fixed, you're done. This is more of an exploration of this experience. It's a part of being human to embrace hurt and pain in relationships and be willing to go back in and face things that are uncomfortable. So I think that a part of letting go is also the opposite of like being willing to face and confront situations that have hurt us. Oftentimes we avoid confronting somebody or having a conversation about what has happened because we're afraid of more pain. We're afraid of more hurt and rejection or whatever it may be. But sometimes in relationships, especially healthy relationships, it's important that we go back in and we have a brave conversation about what we're feeling with people. So I want you to imagine that. Bring up the person that maybe you are struggling in relationship with. Maybe you've been avoiding them or avoiding talking about the problem or concern. I want you to bring it up in your mind. Take a big breath. And just imagine what it would be like to sit in front of them face to face and just share what you've been feeling. Share what you've been avoiding. Imagine telling that person how you feel about the situation. And then just imagine that person turning towards you and giving you the answer that you need. It might sound like, I am so sorry that you have been feeling that way, and I care a lot about you, and I never intended to hurt you in that way, and I'm so sorry that you've been thinking about it so often, and I'm so sorry that you've been avoiding talking to me, and you're carrying all this pain and hurt inside. I never knew about what you've been feeling. I've just been over here continuing to live my life. Now imagine that person affirming you and saying, I care about you, or I love you, and I want us to be able to let this go, and I want us to be able to move on and, come together and do things and enjoy ourselves together, and I want us to not be carrying hurt inside. And imagine that person embracing you and saying, I'm so sorry, and please forgive me. I want to be able to move forward in our relationship. Now notice after hearing those things, imagining your person saying those things to you, imagine what that feels like. Do you notice any difference in sensation? Maybe you feel a lightness in your body or in your heart. Maybe you feel like you can breathe a little easier. Maybe you feel some emotions of happiness coming back. This is why it's so important that we have these conversations of reconciliation. And we can know that it is safe to move on when, we can know that it is safe to have these conversations when we have a person in our life that has a history of mostly caring about us, mostly being kind to us, and mostly wanting what's best in the relationship for us. The difference between a good relationship and a not so good relationship is the intention that is behind the relationship. So, for example, just to compare a good relationship with a bad one, imagine an addict. Imagine the behaviors of an addict. They tend to lie and manipulate and take and be self-centered, and they don't really seem to care what other people feel. And then consider someone that you're friends with that you have had hurt before with. It may seem there are times when people will be self-centered and uncaring, and they will do or say things that are hurtful, but that doesn't mean that person is an altogether bad person that needs to be ousted from your life. If that person genuinely cares for you and has shown times when They have your best interest at heart, but they have slipped up and made mistakes and become uncaring and done something unkind to you. It may be that person is suffering or struggling or having their own struggles in their own life that has led to blind spots and has led to them not being able to show up for you in the same way. And what I would recommend and suggest is recognize that altogether this person is a good person. They have good intentions for you, and they may need some support. They may need your forgiveness. They may need, your validation and encouragement, and it may be really helpful in your relationship for both of you. It may be helpful for you to forgive and release the hurt and work to show up for that person as a friend or a kind listener, just the way that you need it sometimes as well. So, in this experience today, I recommend perspective taking, noticing the perspective of yourself and noticing the perspective of the other person, and try to take a holistic view of your relationship, your history, the events that led up to what you're feeling now, and maybe recognizing that even though what you're feeling is valid and should be addressed, it may just be a bump in the road in a long and meaningful and loving relationship. And if that's the case, it may be time for you to be really brave and confront the situation with love and speak to that person, let them know how you're feeling, and seek to reconcile and reconnect so that you can move on feeling more positive and grounded and light. I hope this meditation has been helpful and comforting. Enjoy your day, yogis. Namaste.